What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Dan. Thank you so much for being here. Today we're talking about some things that I do pre-backpacking that probably are really specific to me, but I thought you might want to know what these things are. These could be the most important things you'll ever do in your entire life. Probably not, but I'd like to think that because they're important to me, okay? So these are things that I do specifically before each backpacking trip that really do make a difference to me, give me peace of mind, give my family peace of mind. And then there's a couple things that are in this that I think will be to more of a specific crowd, but hopefully it will help you in your backpacking adventures. So in this video, we're talking about 5 things that I do that are really general for every backpacking trip I go on, not just specifically for a certain type of backpacking trip. Like, this is a list that I do, that I make and check off on every single trip. It's just gotta happen. All right, number 1, I make a full-on gear check after I've chosen my gear. So I'm gonna go back through every single piece of gear to make sure I haven't forgotten anything. One of the pieces of gear that will specifically come on every trip is some sort of a multi-tool, which I've never really showed you before other than the Swiss Army Classic SD. But I will bring a multi-tool like this one. This is the Leatherman Squirt. This is something I haven't brought yet, but I will be bringing this because I use a multi-tool to fix my camera gear and tripods. So this is really handy for that. Plus it's super lightweight. Now I've used this for years on my personal keychain, but I've never brought it on a backpacking trip. Just sitting there, I'm like, oh, I should probably bring that. That's perfect. So just got a few more tools to help me to adjust tripods and adjust cameras and, you know, fix things as we are filming for the trips. So check the box, gear check, everything's there. Double check your gear before every backpacking trip. The last thing you want is to get out there and realize you forgot your toilet bag. Do you want to go poop in the woods and not have your toilet kit? I definitely do not want to have that happen. That is, nobody wants that. Just, that's not good. Number 2, basically along with the gear check, and that this is where we're probably getting a little specific. I'm gonna pick out my camera gear and I'm gonna make sure I've got it. And this is what we actually bring for camera gear on our trips. So if you've ever wondered how we film this stuff and how we're, you know, getting the audio and getting the cameras and getting, you know, the good shots and all that stuff, this is what we're using. So we go through a camera check. We make sure that all the batteries are charged, all the mics are working, all the SD cards are there, like everything's ready to go. Tripods, drone, 360 cameras, it's all there. And if that ever interested you, then now you know. So I will now direct people to this video if they ever want to know about it. This next one is pretty important, and we want to make sure that you hear every bit of it because it's probably the most important thing I'm going to say today. If that's true, then we've got real problems. Number 3 on my checklist is that I'm gonna make sure that I have my navigation ready to go, that I know where I'm at on a map, that I've got all my maps figured out. So let me just show you what I do and how I do it just really, really quickly, just sort of a 30,000 foot view, no pun intended, of the mapping system here. So I'm gonna go to Onyx Backcountry Maps, which in my opinion is by far the best mapping software available for trails. The biggest reason is because they actually verify their trail contributors. So you know what you're about to hike if it's in their database, that it's legit and that these guys have actually hiked it and know what they're doing, and the waypoints are going to be correct. Oh, and this video is not sponsored by Onyx, if you were wondering, but I will put a link in the description if you want to go check out the website yourself. So we're going to Big Bend National Park at the end of April, and we're going to be hiking this Chisos Mountain Loop, and it's going to zoom in and show me exactly in green what the loop is, and this is the entire route that we're going to take. And what's really cool, and by the way, these features that I'm showing you, that's not on their free version, it's on their premium version. It's super cheap. It's like 30 bucks a year. It's a no-brainer, so 100% you should be just getting the premium membership, so that way you can do what I'm doing, and you can use it on your own trips. If you don't get the premium membership, you can't use the maps offline, so it's essentially useless. You can sort of plan it at your house, and then you get there, and it's you're not going to have cell service. It's not going to work. But what I would do here is I'm going to zoom in on the map, and what's really, really cool about this map is that they added a 3D function here, and this way I can actually kind of look at the terrain. It's going to tell me the elevation of everywhere we are on the trail. The colors represent levels of difficulty, so that way I know in advance whether there's incline or decline. Really awesome. I can add waypoints anywhere I want on the trail, which I've already done, so I can add my campsites, I can add trailheads, and then if I want to save this offline, super easy to do, super cool. Totally recommend that you do this. You just click on the offline map, and I've already saved it, but I'll save it again just for you. I would just select this down here and then select an area of what I want to save to my computer. I can leave a note, and I can hit save, and then as soon as I turn on the app on my phone, it will just automatically download to my phone. So if you go into the app and you click offline maps, there it is right there, the epic trip, and I can go ahead and hit download, and it's just going to download right to my phone, so that way when I get into the backcountry where I'm going, the maps are right there, and then I literally follow this just like a GPS. It marks you on the location, like you can follow it like you would in your car if you're driving somewhere. So that's how I do that. Super important. So highly recommend you guys get something like this. The fourth thing that will happen on Dan Becker's checklist for every single backpacking trip, without question, is that I'm going to make sure that I leave the plans for my backpacking trip with my family back home, so that they know absolutely everything that I'm doing, where I'm staying, if I've got a hotel the night before, where I'm flying into, if I'm flying somewhere, where the trailhead is, what trails am I taking, where are my campsites, when do I plan on starting the hike, and when do I plan on ending the hike. That way, if something does actually go south, there's at least a guide that they've got to try to figure out how they can get a hold of me. And then if something does change, like if all of a sudden I got to take some alternate route, or there's a different campsite I got to take, I'm gonna do my best to remember to make sure I deliver that information to my family as well, so that they can kind of update that as we are going on our trips. Now, number 5, this is always on the checklist, is that I'm always gonna have water in my vehicle when I come back to my vehicle. I can't tell you how many times I've been on a backpacking trip, and I am so excited to get to the vehicle at the end of the trip. Like, you're just kind of done. We've all been there. You packed up, the end is near, and you're hiking out to your vehicle or whatever your end point is, and you're out of water because you used it all the night before making your hot chocolate and cheesy mac. And you get to your vehicle, you open the door, and there's no water in there. That's a terrible feeling. So everybody's thirsty, everybody's cranky. It's just nice to have water. And somebody commented on a couple videos ago that I should have a cooler in my car. I'm like, that is genius. So it's not fun to have warm water in your car. So if you get a cooler that is good, it might last the entire backpacking trip, and you come back to have cold water. So if anybody's got a cooler idea for me out there, put it in the comments below, something that's gonna last that long. That would be stellar. That would be awesome. I would love to hear that. Okay, so that's just some of the important things that I do before every single trip. If you guys have stuff that you do before your trips, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear it, and so would everybody else. And we'll see you guys on the next one.